Good morning and welcome to Unity Church of the Mountains, where the light always shines. Let's stand as you are able and sing. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Yes, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Yes, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 Let's begin with prayer. Let's take a deep breath, get ourselves centered, release any thoughts or concerns of the world, and go deep within to the Christ presence. We quiet ourselves so that we can be fully present with each other here and hear the message that Jeannie has brought to teach us and help us stay centered in spirit. Amen. Let us have our opening affirmation together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Welcome all guests that are here in person and online. And welcome, Jeannie Ward. Thank you for driving through the fog and the rain and the twisty mountain roads. We greatly appreciate you.
Beautiful drive. Thank you so much.
All right, stand as you are. Oh, yes?
Do we have any new guests here?
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, where are you from?
Kate City.
Oh, wow, wonderful. Well, thanks for being here. By divine appointment, you're right here with us. Yes. Thanks for the reminder, Nita. All right, stand as you are able, and let's sing One in the Spirit together.
We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. And we know that our unity has Has this day been restored? And they'll know we are family by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are family by our love. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And we pray that our unity has this day been restored. And they'll know we are family by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are family by our love. Yes, they'll know we are family by our love. Yes, they'll know we are family by our love.
All right, everybody ready for some updates? Right, as Gail says, news we can use. Now, everything I'm saying now, and I'll remind you at the end too, if you go to your Mountain Spirit, it's going to have more details, but I'm just kind of giving you an overview right now. And if you'd like to get the Mountain Spirit, you can get in touch with Gail or Bob. I guess you have the email to reach out if folks want it. It's amazing. We've literally had people all over the country say that it's like one of the best that they've ever seen. So Gail does a wonderful job, and we're appreciative of that. All right, so if you'd like to join with some like-minded spirits for a retreat, August 31st through September 3rd, there's the Canoga Retreat. It's 4 days of inspiring workshops, joyful music, and blissful quiet time. Canoga Conference Center in Hendersonville, North Carolina. September 9th is World Day of Prayer. September 12th, Reverend David Torres will be here. September 19th, Reverend Angela Harmon. September 26th, outdoor services at Meeks Park, followed by our annual picnic. And looking ahead, October 3rd, there's the Unity 101 membership class right after the Sunday service. This is a required class if you wish to become a member of the church. It's also a great refresher, even for folks who have been, doing this affirmative prayer practice. It still is a wonderful refresher or an introduction for folks that would like to learn more about Unity. And we'll formally welcome our new members that following Sunday. Thursday, October 14th at 6 p.m., Sing for Joy, sacred chants, dance, and rhythm, outdoor in God's fresh air, weather permitting. This Sing for Joy evening will be special and memorable. It'll focus on sacred chants and drumming, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, Tazy style, and then it'll finish with an angel walk. What is an angel walk? You're going to have to join us and see. And again, follow the Mountain Spirit newsletter for all the news you can use, and find the current newsletter on your homepage. Sign up for your copy there as well, easy. unitychurchofthemountains.org. All right, now we're going to sing Gentle Spirit.
Gentle Spirit, flow in me. Gentle Spirit, grow in me. Gentle Spirit, show in me. gentle spirit, know me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Jerry, and I'm the prayer chaplain for today. If you need additional prayer after the service, I'll be over at that door right there, and you're welcome to come over and have additional prayers said. Or any prayer chaplain that's present here today would be glad to pray with you. We're going to pray over the prayer box. We keep these for 30 days, and then we send them to Silent Unity, where they pray over them for another 30 days. At this time, I'd like you to either say out loud or silently the names of anybody that you did not have a chance to put in the prayer box. Okay. If you would close your outer eyes and get centered and begin to watch your breath. Breathe in light. Breathe out darkness. Breathe in peace. Breathe out tension and anxiety. Let go and let God. The grace of God surrounds all the people and situations contained in this prayer box. All we need do is to be still and know that the universe is truly stacked in our favor. I believe this with all my heart. Be still and access this divine grace, which is always available and omnipresent. I receive God's love and light. I send God's love and light. I am God's love and light. We know that God assists our human sight to see not only the need and suffering in our world, but also the beauty, majesty, and order that is present. We know that God helps us hear and discern what is being said and what's not being said, and to know the truth when we hear it. We know that God invariably works through human hands to bring about good in this world. Let us be those eyes, ears, and hands of God that go forth to do a mighty work in service to the whole. Be still and know. All is well. It truly is. Amen. And the daily word for today is inspiration. And just a note, that picture was taken on my porch a couple weeks ago. I walked out the front door and saw that on my glider, and I didn't know what it was at first, but it turns out it's two moths, one facing up and one facing down, most likely in the process of procreation, I would guess. But it was really cool. I thought it was like sacred geometry, and I was so inspired by it. I sat there and watched them for like 30 minutes and did a little meditation. Nature inspires me. It always has and it always will. And John Muir, the founder of the Sierra Club, says, just get out there. Get out there in nature and you will see proof of the divine. You really will. And you will affirm the divine process. So the word today is inspiration. I move in harmony with the creative flow of inspiration. Sometimes I feel inspired by the words of others, and sometimes I am inspired more by action. Today I take my inspiration from the story of Charles Fillmore, a businessman who marveled at his wife's complete healing from serious illness. This prompted him to embark upon an intense period of prayer, meditation, and study that led to the founding in 1889 of Unity, which has become a global spiritual community. I take this story to heart and find my inspiration in my feelings of awe and wonder, love, or even healthy curiosity. Feeling an awakening of inspiration within me, I center my awareness in God. Divinely inspired, I move in harmony with the creative flow that blesses the work of my mind, my heart, and my hands. The biblical reference is, but truly it is the spirit in a mortal, the breath of the Almighty, that makes for understanding. Job 32:8.
And now we'll sing Face of God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
I invite you to join me now as we enter into a time of a deeper connection with Source. In this moment of stillness, in this sacred space, all that we need to know, all that we need to be aware of, is already here. In this now moment. The presence and the power of God, of all that is available to you. So I invite you right now, in this holy moment, to open yourself, to allow yourself to receive this generous and gracious gift. Of a kind, benevolent, generous, and loving universe. I invite you to become all that you are. The invitation is always there, waiting for you to open it and to step into this divine portal, this divine realm of consciousness of the Christ light. Allow your breath right now to bring you closer still into that intimate connection with the God of your understanding. Feel the beloved, this sacred and powerful energy. As you open to receive it, feel that breath coursing through your veins. Begin to notice your experience within you right now and around you and through you. Your unique connection, your unique experience with the very essence that you are. Allow your physical body to expand even more fully to receive this nourishing breath. And to every cell and fiber of your being, this breath already knows what to do, where to go, and it beckons you to become one with it. I am the breath of God, flowing through me, expressing as me, delighting in this magnificent form of creation. I open myself up to becoming more conscious and to expand that consciousness. To continue to evolve, to learn, to grow, to step into the fullness of the creation that I am in this human form. To allow the beloved to have its way with me. so that I might be more than my human mind could ever comprehend. I allow my thoughts to align with divine thoughts, with that divine energy that is more than a thought. It is a divine idea in the mind of God. I am so blessed this morning to be in this physical body, to know the truth of the wholeness and vitality that I already am, to know the wisdom that is already present within me. And I lay down anything and everything that no longer serves me, so that that light can flow through me and it can shine brighter than ever before. This morning, right here and now, I am so grateful for this time of communion. This time of deeper connection, this remembrance of the truth of who and what I am. And I choose to rest in that knowing. And I am restored and renewed by it. So I breathe in and I feel that beloved once again reminding me I am loved beyond measure, and all is well. And so it is. You may open your eyes as you are ready, or you can keep them closed if you prefer. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah. Wow. What a wonderful trip up here on the freeway, like that freeway. That's an old word. Some of us might know that. It was delightful. It was like life. A few people asked me how the trip was up here, and I went, it was like life. A little bit of rain, a little bit of mist, clouds, darkness, light, you name it, it was there, right? Which leads me into my talk this morning. The talk was really, okay, there we go. My talk was really coming from The Wizard of Oz. Okay, right?
We're off to see the wizard.
Kind of, yeah. Okay, we are that. That's the deal. What you had it all along, right? It was always within you. So it's about that rediscovery. And what I was wanting to offer you this morning was a journey, if you want to journey with me, as we travel on that road of life. Because in the world out there right now, and it has been for a while, it's always been a lot going on in the world out there. I think we all might agree with that. But it's been amped up a bit, and it's been intensified a bit. And as in The Wizard of Oz, I know we're all probably familiar with that saying, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, right? Here and there and everywhere, things are popping up. Things are happening faster then we can even begin to recognize or even notice, much less recognize, and not even understand, right? Because there's so much coming at us. Hence the talk of my title, lies, truths, beliefs, oh my, what do I do with it all? And actually, when I was driving up here, I thought, I probably could have changed the title to lies, truths, and BS, oh my. But by BS, for those of you who know me and have heard me speak before, by BS, I mean your belief system, right? That's what I mean by BS. But I always like the reaction because we need that. We need to be jolted sometimes in a way that goes, well, when I ask somebody, so what's your BS all about? And they go, excuse me? And I go, your belief system. Take a breath. It's okay. No criticism, no judgment. Excuse me. Just an awareness. And that's what the talk is about this morning. It's about as we're traveling on this adventure and on this journey, what is it that you believe? Not about what's out there, but within you. What is it that you are anchored into? Or are you anchored into anything? I don't know. You might know that, and maybe one day you're like putting a foot over here, and the next day you're planting another foot over here, and the next day you're going, well, I only have 2 feet, so I don't know where to put the next one, right? And maybe it could be forward, or you go, you know what? No, I need to take a step back. This is just too much. I really don't know what to do with all of it. Wouldn't it be great? Some of you might remember back in the day. I'm, of course, dating myself here, but that's cool. I like it. It's fun to date yourself, actually, in a different way. That's a whole other conversation. But anyway, The Triptych by AAA. Anybody remember that? Okay, yeah, I figured you guys might. The Triptych, and you would put in what? Your point of origin, where you're starting from, and then you would put in your destination. And you might say, I want the quickest, fastest route to wherever. Or you might say, no, I prefer the scenic route. I'd like to visit some different places. And so they would send you back this little map, paper map. We've come a long way, haven't we? A paper map that you could chart your course. Maybe that's what we need to do right now. Maybe sometimes we need to get back to some of those basics. And by basics, I mean, again, what's going to work for you? What's going to allow you to feel as though you are receiving the guidance that you know from the source that is here to always supply you with everything that you need. It's already there. We even hear the reference sometimes, we have that internal GPS. But what we do is we forget to what? Turn it on. Imagine that. We forget. You know, on that journey, on that road of life, we fall asleep. Thank goodness we don't fall asleep at the wheel in the car, but we fall asleep at the wheel as we are driving through our journey. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. Because when we fall asleep, we have the opportunity to what?
Wake up.
Wake up! Because when we go to sleep at night, sleep is a very necessary part of our experience, especially in these human bodies. We need that renewal time. We need that restoration. And oftentimes, I think for me, I used to hear falling asleep was a bad thing. Like, you need to wake up, Jeannie. You need to get with it. And you need to, you know, just get on with it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And for a time in my life, especially when I, you know, got into Unity 20 plus years ago and then Science of Mind prior to that, and I would hear a lot of different things. And I grew up in a very different environment. I think some of you know my mom was Russian Orthodox. She grew up in China the first 25 years of her life, and my dad was fundamental Baptist, okay? Born in the South and raised in Texas. So, you know, I always had this interesting, if you will, environment in which I was exposed to early on. So when I came into Unity, it was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And a lot of it felt really, really good. And a lot of it still does. But I call myself a spiritual eclectic. All right? Because to me, God is God. And that's a word. Whether I say universe, source, presence, all that is, it makes no difference. It's just a word. It's energy, because I believe, and I'm happy to have you disagree with everything I'm saying this morning. I welcome that. But I believe we're energy beings, you know, and we are that conduit, that vessel, if we want to see it that way. And that gets back to what? My BS, your BS. What is it that I want to anchor into? Why am I here? What am I doing on this journey? What's it all about, Alfie? Remember that one? Okay. So even to yourself to ask the question, well, what's it all about? We can say that right now, can't we? What's it all about out there? Just when what? We thought, okay, the masks are off. Oh, well, they're back on. Well, they're back off. Well, they're back on. Guess what? That's life. How about a light switch? Off, on, off, on. It's not about what's happening out there. It's about what's happening within here. That's where it's happening. Whether you choose to go in there or not, or like I heard one time, you don't want to go into your head because it's like a scary neighborhood. All right? Make sure you take somebody in there with you. Right? I heard that years ago before I ever got into unity. It's like, don't go in there, it's scary. Right? Take somebody with you. It's like, oh, I'll they don't want to go. Trust me. Once they start going in there, they're going to run. They're going to say, holy shift, I'm out of here. Just saying. Wow. Just saying. So what do? We do what you're doing right now. And it's a choice to come together as community, to align yourself with like-minded folks. And when I say like-minded, please hear me. It doesn't mean that you're not going to disagree, because you are. In those places of disagreement is where we can, if we choose, find a deeper connection. And remember that we truly are all one, whether you want to believe that or not. That's my personal belief. I like to think of so many references. You know, we hear them all now, whether it's the Matrix or, you know, hologram or whatever. I like to think of a tapestry, a circular tapestry. And all these different threads are woven through it. And whatever is woven in there enriches that tapestry. And there be, you know, when you see a tapestry or even a piece of material, and oftentimes it could be really smooth, but other times you have one that's got a lot of texture, right? And it's a little bumpy here and a little bumpy there. How about the texture of your life, to where all kinds of things are woven in there? We would not be where we are today, which is a wonderful, powerful, magnificent place, if we had not already weathered many of the storms that we have. If we had not already overcome many of the obstacles and conquered all the challenges that we have, we would not be here. Because I believe we are here by choice in this moment now. That's just my personal belief. And sometimes I used to say, oh, next time around, I've got to read the fine print about what I signed up for. Holy moly, you know, or put on my readers, you know, or something like that. And then I say it with a smile on my face. But I wasn't able to do that for a long time in my life. I was angry, very angry for a long, long time. I know most of you know a little bit of my personal story insofar as being born in this particular body and never feeling comfortable in it, never really knowing who I was, and my family was not best at accepting me early on and even later in my life. And I used to question God and say, what in the world did you do? You made a mistake. I don't want to be in a guy's body, but this one doesn't suit me either. So who am I? What am I? And finally, through my own soul searching, my own deep, deep soul searching in my pain and in my despair and in my anger and in my rage. And in that place of feeling so unworthy, I was able to move out of a place of loathing to a little better place. There's not a word for it. I'm going to write a book one day about that journey because it's an ongoing journey. And I feel for all of us, we have been traumatized. Whether it's a past life, if you believe in that, or, you know, I won't even get into that whole conversation. I'll leave that for another time. But in this lifetime, different things we have experienced individually and what we have experienced collectively, we have been affected. And our physical body, the circuits, those neurons, everything have been affected on some level. And, you know, perhaps for you, you've had a moment when something has shocked you and you go, oh, what do you do in that moment? You hold your breath, do you not? And your body is a beautiful barometer. Bruce Lipton speaks a lot about that in the biology of belief. And we talk about what is unhealed within us. And what is happening in the world right now, to me, is all about what has been unhealed, what has accumulated through many lifetimes and many generations. Again, that's my personal belief. But maybe there's a part of you that can go within you and see what your journey has been about, to examine it more closely and look at it through a lens of gentleness and a lens of love and a lens of openness to say, is there something still within me that is wanting, that is calling to be healed? What might that be? Because if it's not felt and processed, rather than, Jeannie, just get over it and move on, you know, realize how fortunate you are, how blessed you are, and how lucky you are, and I could go on with that. Fine. There's something to be said about that. Because I'm going to choose what it is I want to anchor into, but I do not want to, and I encourage all of you, I've spoken about spiritual bypassing before up here on this podium, but I encourage you to acknowledge what is happening in your world in here and to be aware of what is happening in the world out there. Again, what? Be in the world? You can do that, but not of it. Anchor into your unique divine expression. So the three things to keep in mind on this, since I started out with the AAA road trip thing, let's just say AAA, okay? Awareness, all right? How can you make a different choice? How can you shift? How can you pivot? How can you do anything different if you are not aware of what? This moment right now. That's all that matters. You can be aware of what brought you to this moment and aware of, yeah, there's stuff coming, and I don't really know what that is. That's the power of not knowing. That's a whole other conversation. But to be aware. All right, this is happening. Oh, there's the lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Well, there's something over there. You know what? That's just a bold-faced lie. Okay. Oh, that feels more like the truth over there. Oh, well, I woke up this morning. Wait a minute, I thought that was true yesterday. It's not true today? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Now what do I do? Was that song back in the 60s? I forget who it was. The Ball of Confusion? Right? Exactly. And it's spinning and spinning and spinning. Are you going to spin with it? Or are you going to say, I am going to anchor into what is going to work for me? So I'm going to be aware, right? And then I want to perhaps align myself with divine mind. Let my mind go rather than my will, perhaps thy will, and align with that. And in that place, I can access, I can tap into an assurance, okay, of a different knowing. I can tap into and I can anchor my roots into an assurance of something that feels a little more solid, a little more steady when the waves are, about to capsize me. And even if they do capsize me, what's going to be my lifeboat or my life preserver? Do I have a plan? Do you have something in mind that's your go-to? Be it prayer, be it meditation, be it jumping up and down and screaming. I don't know. What is your practice? Do you realize the beautiful opportunities you have to expand this creative being that you are? And to allow yourself to receive that divine inspiration, to know that in moments of stillness like we did in the meditation, that's where all you need to know is. Eckhart Tolle, he's one of my favorite peeps out there. I love that guy because he keeps reminding us in the stillness, in the silence. That's not what you're going to find in the majority of the places out there in the world right now. Excuse me. Perhaps your mind gets caught up in the spinning, in the judgment, in the criticism, in the, well, if you would just do it this way, if you would just do it that way. That's part of our humanness. And it's okay when we are human, by the way. Did you know that? It's okay to be human. That's the beauty of you, because the divine goes, wow, all these many expressions, right? And it has an opportunity to experience itself, to know itself through each and every one of you. Like, wow, that's an interesting experience. Wow, that's an interesting sensation. Wow, that's, all right, that's interesting too. Okay. To know the totality of itself. To know the contrast of life. In fact, we were talking about contrast earlier this morning when I was having a conversation with Joy and another young lady. We were talking about contrast. Driving up here this morning, there was quite a contrast on the road, like I said, with the weather. That's energy, that's life, and without contrast, is it Gibran? Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. That's what comes to mind. Thank you. It's the same thing. It's just the other side of it. We would not be who and what we are without it. The dark and the light, we need it all. And in the darkest places, do we have the assurance and the faith? Are we anchored into something to know that the activity of life is still happening? No matter what it looks like out there, no matter what it feels like out there. And if it feels a little shaky to you, I invite you again, dive deeper. Dive deeper. Don't come back up to the surface. Dive deeper and know that your oxygen, your breath will be restored in those places. God is what? God is like the what? Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Here, there, and everywhere. Is that not God? Omnipresent. Omnipotent. Omniscient. Always. God is what? Immutable. Unchangeable. No matter what. That's my BS. And I invite you to join me in it, or maybe you think it's a little stinky. I don't really care. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm not here to convince you. I am here to challenge you, to grow, to stretch, even when it hurts. Gently stretch. That's how muscles grow stronger. With resistance training and resistance, we could have a conversation about resistance, but in this regard, it's using resistance training, what? To grow your spiritual muscles. Right? Absolutely. To stretch, to expand, to be more than you ever imagined you could be, because you already are that. The other day I saw a little acorn and I was going to bring it with me this morning and I forgot. But I bet we could find one out there, because that acorn has what? That blueprint within it. It already knows its destiny. When was the last time you went inside and said, ooh, okay, I'm going to be an acorn today, and I'm going to go in and check it out? And let that be revealed to you in your prayer time, in your pain, in your suffering. What is it? Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It's our choice. And sometimes it is very painful. And there's a lot of pain out there right now. There's a lot of suffering. And what you can do is your own inner work. As you travel on this road and you encounter all those things that are scary and frightening and confusing, to stop right where you are on that road. And don't even take a breath. Let it breathe you. You don't have to do anything. It's a good time to surrender and let it be. And in that place, you will reclaim your power. You will reawaken. And then you will remember you had it all along. You had it all along. And when you wake up in the morning, instead of saying, well, I guess we're not in Kansas anymore, right? You might go, wow, I'm in this amazing place, unlike any other dimension I have ever been. And there's so much richness in this place. There is so much texture and love and light. The energy that is there is waiting for you to soak it up and to restore and renew, so you can say, aha, I'm ready for another journey, all brand new. And let that journey begin today, right here and now. So I invite you all, when you think of the land of Oz, let's spell it differently. Ah, right? Ah. Say that with me. Ah. Look at this wonderful new day. I've never seen this one before. Wow. Thank you all so much.
Wow. Thanks, Jeannie.
You're very welcome.
This is a time in the service for us to give of our abundant blessings and share it with Unity Church of the Mountains. Let's gratefully receive tithes and offerings and join together on the offering affirmation. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. There's a basket as you know in the going out of the sanctuary. Also, you can give via check, or there's a multitude of ways to give, and I think it's up on the screen now here. Let's join now together for our healing prayer. Together, may my mind know that it cannot be limited. May my heart know it cannot be separate. May I know only wholeness of being and claim nothing less than the fullness of life. And now for our closing prayer. Let's take a deep breath
and think about what Jeannie taught us together, and to love our mind, our body, and our soul, which are one with all of creation, one with all of us, and that we are aware, aligned, and accessible to divine source, which resides deep within us. Thank you, God. Amen. And let's stand as you are able, and let's do the peace song together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow.